36 years after the original film, after the movie that was your mom and dad's favorite movie of not only the 80s, but of their entire childhood, we are once again riding into the danger zone. Top Gun Maverick is the sequel to 1986's Top Gun. As I stated, it was probably your mom and dad's favorite movie. So yeah, Top Gun is a generational movie, and now your mom and dad are going to want to go see Top Gun Maverick because it's been 36 years since there's been a Top Gun movie. After more than 30 years of service as one of the Navy's top aviators, Pete Maverick Mitchell is where he belongs, pushing the envelope as a courageous test pilot and dodging the advancement in rank that would ground him. That's all I'm going to say regarding Top Gun Maverick and its plot, because its plot is a lot more involving than that. And I'm actually going to talk a little bit about that. Not giving away any spoilers, of course, but it's just one of my critiques of the movie. I really do like the first Top Gun movie. It's one of those movies, though, where you just have to, you know, it's a product of its time. It's a complete 80s movie. If anything, the 1980s, especially Top Gun, proved that shirtless volleyball was cool, just like how the 2000s proved that shirtless football on the beach is awesome, as portrayed in this movie. But you know what? Actually, this movie is historically inaccurate because they don't portray doing Fight Club in the 2020s on the beach in this movie. Automatic F. All jokes aside, Tom Cruise has stated he makes movies for the theaters, and yeah, this is a movie theater movie. See this in IMAX, see it in Dolby, even in regular standard that I saw it in my screening today. It was amazing. This movie is exhilarating. It is a lot better than I thought it had any right to be. And as I said, I did like the first Top Gun movie. It's a product of its time, but I was about to go into a critique about the actual first Top Gun movie until I went on that little side rant about shirtless volleyball on beaches. But I do find that the characterization in that movie is a little thin. It's not as thin in this movie. There's more depth to the characters here, but everybody serves their purpose in the movie, but the flight scenes in Top Gun Maverick might be some of the most exhilarating sequences ever put on screen. There's rumors that, like, Tom Cruise actually had the members of the cast, like, in an F-18 jet, filming themselves, flying the jets for those sequences. At least that's what's rumored, or at least that's what I heard. I don't know. I could be completely wrong in that regard, but you know what? With how crazy Tom Cruise gets in his movies, I would not be shocked at all if that was 100% the complete and honest truth, that he had them filming in the cockpits and flying these F-18 jets and these fighter jets in midair while filming. It makes all the sense in the world. I mean, that you can tell that the type of camera switches up in those sequences. Looks like they're using like GoPro cameras when they're in the cockpits, and there's head-on shots in the cockpit. Like, it looks like the camera is outside of the plane, like attached to like a rod, looking in at a slight angle into the cockpit. That's how realistic this movie is. I thought that added some authenticity and realism to this, that we actually saw the cast members acting as if they were Navy fighter pilots, filming themselves for a Top Gun movie. How crazy is that? Again, that's what I'm assuming happened, so if that is what happened, good job for the authenticity and the realism. Like, Jesus, holy shit, Tom Cruise can do no wrong. He's really good as Maverick in this movie, but I think the standout for me, other than Tom Cruise, was Miles Teller. For the first half of the movie, the focus wasn't so much on Miles Teller because he is playing the son of Goose, Maverick's wingman from the first one. So I feel like we didn't have as much time to get to know Goose's son, whose call sign is Rooster. I feel like we didn't have as much time to get to know Rooster or develop that relationship between Rooster and Maverick until the second half of the movie. And they completely sold me from there on out. It made me give the first half of the movie a pass in terms of that relationship and what that actually meant to the characters. Like, Maverick is haunted by the demons of his past because of something he did related to Goose's son, Rooster. And now Rooster holds a grudge against Maverick, and the whole movie is really just It feels like it's a bonding movie, not between father and son, but in a way, it is. It really is. It really is Maverick taking on Rooster as a surrogate son and him acting as a father figure to his best friend's son. And I actually really dug that, especially in the second half. Going back to the flight scenes for a minute, the action in this movie is exhilarating. Hands down, like, they're cranking out like 80s rock tunes, and I was like, this is just making these sequences so much more exciting. Just watching them fly past mountains and through narrow gorges, like hoping they don't hit anything. Like, literally, this added to the realism too. Literally had me fearing for the actors and actresses' lives in those sequences. I didn't just care about the actors though. I cared about the characters, which I didn't expect to do because that didn't really happen for me with the first Top Gun movie. The first Top Gun movie is good, sure. This one, because it has such a deeper story, a deeper and more complex relationship, I feel like, than Goose and Maverick had in the first one, even though that was the central point of that movie, Goose and Rooster's relationship is the anchor for this movie. I also really loved what they did with Val Kilmer and how they integrated Iceman into the movie. I thought it made sense, and what happened with Val Kilmer is unfortunate. The fact that they could still weave him into the movie, they could get his participation, and he was down to do it. I don't envy them. That had to be a challenge, and they pulled it off to the greatest degree that they could. Well done to Val Kilmer. And the backstory with Iceman was very touching. I'm really happy that the movie had the respect to add Val Kilmer into the movie, and everything they do with him is not disrespectful. I feel like it was done in good taste. For Top Gun, I feel like we're all going for the flight sequences, which, yeah, they are cool, but as I think I've implied already, it's the emotional and dramatic weight. Like, this is, to me, this is like the Navy pilot's equivalent of Rocky. Like, Rocky is a drama at heart. Like, sure, you want to see the boxing matches. You want to see Rocky box and beat somebody in the boxing ring. Just like how you want to see the Top Gun pilots get into dogfights with their enemies in these Top Gun movies, but you have to have an emotional core and stability with that emotional core throughout the entire movie, and that's exactly what this movie does. It is able to balance dramatic and emotional weight with the exhilarating action, and it meshes them all together to create a very exciting action drama. There's one thing about Top Gun Maverick I did not like. Look, I like Jennifer Connelly as an actress. I've liked her in quite a lot of things. This is nothing against her, and it's nothing against her character, but I just feel like that the whole romance between her and Tom Cruise just could have been omitted. I don't want to say it was necessarily tacked on, but it felt like a forced thing that the writers felt like the movie needed, and it really didn't. And every time it cuts back to Tom Cruise and Jennifer Connelly, the pacing of the movie just tanks. I'm like, can we just get back to the flight school and Top Gun and, you know, the dogfights and them training for their mission as to what they have to do? That's the more exciting stuff. I don't care about this side romance that Maverick has with this woman Penny that wasn't even in the first movie. And apparently within the 36 years that have passed, he had a relationship with her. It's like, okay, I buy that, but it just felt like Kelly McGillis didn't want to return, so we have to have somebody else come in and be the love interest for Maverick. And it just wasn't needed. That problem aside, this is a very, very exhilarating action drama full of great flight sequences that feel authentic, visceral, and real. A great usage of Val Kilmer. I don't envy them in the slightest. And the soundtrack is killer. It's just full of dramatic and emotional weight that mixes well with all the action that you expect from a Top Gun movie. I really enjoyed Top Gun Maverick with a full bucket of popcorn. So what did you guys think of Top Gun Maverick? Drop me some feedback in the comments section below. I'll leave my link to my website in the description below as well. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. My name is Alex Madden, and I'll see you at the movies somewhere.